Alright, welcome to part 4 as I put the last pieces of this 2016 Kyle Busch NOS energy drink Xfinity car together. So I got these pieces wet and I did cheat a little bit, right? So I got them wet and I wanted to see how they would line up. And unfortunately, what's happening is I'm covering up this Goodyear right there. So here's my little remedy. I'm covering up this R here. So here's my remedy here. And a little bit of this G. And, you know, lesson learned, I could have done a couple things here. I've said this before, but I typically like to put the Goodyear logo one of the last things I put on. And I thought, well, you know, I should be okay to put it in because it's kind of integrated in, even though I could have cut along here. And that's what I'm thinking of doing, right? So I'm getting this wet, and then I'm going to see if I can lift it. So I got it wet. Just trying to get my brush underneath this area here. Come on. Okay. See how that's like lifting right there? So it shows you how, you know, you can move things around, you know. Just get them wet ever so carefully. I don't want to rip this at all. And I just use my brush to gently wedge it in there. Come on. This is why I kind of typically don't video this part, just because it takes, you know, there's a lot of time. And let's see if I can just kind of gently pull this without ripping it. If I whisper, maybe it won't rip, right? Okay. Alright, so this is completely loose here. I did rip it. Dang it. I ripped it right near the R. And not everything goes, you know, perfectly. You know, it's like life, right? Not everything goes perfectly. So what I'm going to do, instead of kind of cutting it off, well, hold on a second. Let's do that. Let's do just what I said I wasn't going to do. Let's cut this off. And it looks like, oops, come here. Looks like I don't need to cut it. I can just pull it. So I'm going to pull it right like that. And I'm just going to set it right there in the water by itself. Let's go this side. Come on. Thought you'd be plenty soft by now. There we go. Okay. So this is, this is the first one I'm making of this kind, and so now I know that I can cut right across here, and I'll put this on at the end, because I don't want the front decal to cover up the Goodyear in any way. What I was going to say about the videos is, on some of the videos that I watch, and there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, a lot of content that's out there, a lot of different, really good informational stuff that you can find. But one of the things that I've kind of learned is kind of fun is I pick up the speed, right? So, I typically post, 29-minute videos. That's what my camera does. What you can do is you can speed it up, right? Run it at like 1.5 times on your setting, and then you can watch the whole thing, in, less than 29 minutes. I don't know what the math is. What is it? If you watch it in 2-speed, it would be, 14.5 minutes. And if you watch it in 1.5 times, it'll be, around that 21-minute. So what I'm saying is you can get the full viewership in less time. And of course my voice will sound pretty funny. But I do that on other people's videos. That way I don't miss anything, and if I do see something that is interesting, I can, drop the speed back to regular speed and watch it that way. So I say that all because some of this stuff I don't want to say is boring, but you can, and I'm just super carefully pulling this. I'm not sure that's a good idea because it's still a little tacky. But that way you can get the whole video in less time. Like I said, because there is so much content out there on YouTube. I don't know why this is so... It doesn't... The other side definitely lifted a lot easier than this side. This is definitely a little bit more stubborn. Let me see if I can... Okay. Alright, so that was pretty good. Come on. Okay. I don't really recommend pulling it off like that, but I felt like I had to. Alright, so now I have this problem where it's kind of folded over on itself. Okay. Alright, so that's that. Lesson learned for the next one. Cut the Goodyears off, and then I'll put this in place. So let's get this wet. This is ready to go. And we'll see what this looks like here. Yeah. It's going to be a little big. It's going to wrap around just a little bit here on the sides. Going to have a little bit of blue, tiny bit of blue showing through there underneath the grill. All right. Yeah. Definitely it's going to have to tuck. A little bit on both sides. Alright, let's get the microsole here and help it tuck. Come on. Okay. Pulling that down, making sure that that's as low as it can go on that front. Okay. Now a microsole on this side. Trying to make sure that that Toyota is centered in between these two hood pins there. It's kind of my point of reference. It's potential for a lot of creases here. I'm looking at the time. I'm trying to think if I'm going to be able to get this all done here in this video. Turn it around here. I need to come this way a little bit. And down. It's going to take a little while to get this right. A little bit more microsole here. Get this to tuck. Sometimes these side decals have to wrap around. It's not ideal, but sometimes that's the way it works out. Okay. And now getting these creases out along the bottom, all the way along the bottom. Microsole definitely helps with that. But it just takes persistence. I've shown a few videos like, working this type of thing, and it just takes persistence. And I'm kind of just pushing, trying to push the decal, the air and water out from behind there. And getting working those creases, right? I'm sorry if I'm not out of the camera in the right spot there. Show it. I got my thumb all over the roof of that 18, on that 18. I need to make sure that my fingers don't stick to that because I don't want to lift that up. Okay. pull this around here again. Squeezing that. To the top. Okay. If I can use my, my fingers and my thumbs along the top here, I try to. It's a little bit better than the brush, but again, just trying to keep that down. Do this some more. Wow. It's really not. There's a really big mess there. Test your patience. So this is kind of bunching here. I'm going to pull this up. Spread that out. I'm sorry, I got to turn this up just a little bit because I am way high on the camera. I'm sorry. I see that. Trying to work as quickly as I can, but also be able to show you guys what I'm doing. And also, of course, do it right. So that's not looking too bad on this side. Little creases there still remain. Okay. Tuck, please. Okay, that's not bad. Let's go to this side. You can see I kind of need to pull this up just a little bit. To tuck. All right. You're not going to get in place. You're going to get the microsole treatment. That's how that's going to go. You're not behaving, not working very friendly with me. You get the microsole. I'm going to kind of work around this front here where there's some creases at the top. It's not too bad. But you can see how much of a hassle it is to work these front nose pieces. That have the design, right? When I'm doing something like this, it's a lot easier, right? Because I can just cut out these pieces individually and do it. But when it's got this full design, it's got to be, one full piece. So It's not going to be the best, unfortunately. How are we doing over here? Still got water in there. So sometimes as I'm working different things, those decals sitting in the water, they kind of dry out, you know. And I kind of have to just check and make sure they're not drying out if I do add more water. Okay, so how are we looking here? Still got a lot of creases on this side too. So I'm going to keep working that, right? I got to keep working that. But in the meantime, I want to get some more pieces. I see it I got some water spots on the hood there. In the meantime, I want to get the Goodyear logos back in place. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. Come on. Come on. Alright, so that one, if you see, I left the R there because it ripped. And so I just need to line that up with the R. It's going to be a little off. I'm covering up a little bit of the headlight there with the decal, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. Looks pretty good. Okay. Alright, so now let's see what I can do with this. Well, hold on. I think I'm better off putting this in place and then seeing how those are going to go. Alright, so that's just a huge decal. Holy cow. It's going to come over top of those hood pins just a little bit, right down to the headlights. This is a little trickier than I had anticipated. You know, when you have a lot of different things that line up along the sides here, these corners, you know, I got this decal, and this, and then these little guys. It's a little complicated, I have to admit. And here I'm just kind of pressing into those little areas on the diecast body that this decal is covering. I want to get that conforming nice there. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how that's laying. It sat in the water for long enough. Okay, so now let's see. And lay that like that as kind of a mediator in there. And then this little guy right in this corner here, like that, right above the headlight. I think that looks pretty good. Do the same thing on this side. Let that kind of go right above the Goodyear right there. Actually, I'm going to pull that down a little bit. Come on, this way. Like there. And then this piece is gonna go. Oh, come on, go. Get off. Sometimes I like to stick to your tweezers. Okay. Guys, I'm seeing the battery on my camera going low for some reason. So if this video just cuts out, thanks for watching. I'll say that now while it's still going. And yeah, but okay, so this is coming together. Little hairy there with the good years and working these creases on the front here, but it's coming together. It's still, you know, there's still creases I've got to work out as I just kind of push my thumb into them here along the top here of this grill and these headlights, and I'm kind of pushing the decal into the grill because I'll show you on this one, right? See this grill here? That's what I'm kind of doing now, pushing it into that, conforming into there to making it look that painted on look. That looks pretty good. And I'm just being careful. My thumb is pretty dry and these decals are kind of dry, but they're still pliable. And it's going to work out these little creases here before it fully dries. Trying to get it stuck against the body. Don't want any raised areas if I can help it. Not the best here because this kind of wraps around a little bit. The G and the Moog kind of wraps into the wheel well. So I'll tell you this as I have the last minute, right? Sometimes I'll cut right along the edge of the grill here and the headlight, and I'll lay this piece in first and then I'll lay this in. If I have a little overlap, then I have a little overlap. But sometimes I do that. I didn't do that on this one. I might do it on the next one I do, right? Like cut right along the black and the orange line here and separate them out. Sometimes that makes it a little bit easier to put these decals in place. But yeah, so you can see how much I'm using my thumb. Looks like the battery's going to save until the end of the video, so that's good. But yeah, that's what's going on, guys. You can see how this has turned out. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not 100% perfect, but all said and done, I'm pretty pleased with how this has come together. So right now here, I'll let it dry, and then I'll start putting the sealer on it, paint the spoiler black, and that's it. Thanks, guys. God bless.